Imagine this. There is no alarm clock, no phone, no electricity, no school, no office, no traffic, only darkness, a sky full of stars, and the distant sound of insects. Nearly 100,000 years ago, this was how every human day began, long before cities, long before farming, long before civilization. Our ancestors lived in a world where every sunrise could decide whether they lived or died. So, what did ancient humans actually do? All day? Did they spend every hour hunting? Did they have free time? Did they ever relax or laugh or simply do nothing? The answer is far more fascinating than most people imagine, because ancient humans were not constantly fighting for survival. In fact, many anthropologists believe their daily routine was surprisingly balanced. Let's begin. At sunrise. As the first golden light touched the horizon, people slowly opened their eyes, not because an alarm clock rang, but because their biological clock was perfectly synchronized with nature. The fire from the night before was almost gone. Only glowing embers remained. The oldest members of the group carefully added dry grass, small sticks, then larger pieces of wood. Within minutes, the fire was alive again. Fire wasn't just warmth. It protected the camp from predators, cooked food, boiled water, provided light, and brought everyone together. Without fire, life became far more dangerous. While the fire grew stronger, others stretched their tired muscles. Children rubbed sleep from their eyes. Hunters quietly inspected their wooden spears. Stone knives were checked for damage. Broken tools could mean failed hunts, and failed hunts could mean hunger. Meanwhile, several women and older children walked toward the nearest river, not to relax, but to collect fresh drinking water. Every trip required caution. Fresh animal footprints could reveal nearby prey, but they could also reveal something much more dangerous: lions, hyenas, or crocodiles. Nothing in nature was taken for granted. Back at camp, some people searched for edible berries, others dug for roots, some gathered nuts, others collected dry wood for the next fire. Everyone had a job. Even the youngest children learned by watching. There were no schools. Nature was the classroom. Parents rarely gave long lectures. Children simply copied everything adults did: how to sharpen a spear, how to recognize poisonous plants, how to stay silent, how to read footprints, how to survive. Every day was another lesson, and every mistake could become the last mistake. But perhaps the biggest surprise is this: ancient humans didn't spend every hour working. Scientists studying modern hunter-gatherer societies have found that many groups finished gathering food much earlier than people expect. Once enough food had been found, there was no reason to keep working endlessly. Instead, families rested, children played simple games, adults repaired tools, some decorated clothing with shells or feathers, others told stories, passing knowledge from one generation to the next. Life wasn't easy, but it wasn't endless work either. In many ways, time itself moved much more slowly. There were no meetings, no deadlines, no emails, only the rhythm of the rising sun. But when the morning finally ended, the most dangerous part of the day was about to begin. Because now, the hunters would leave the safety of the camp and step into a world where one mistake could cost everything. As the morning sun climbed higher into the sky, the camp slowly became quieter, not because everyone was resting, but because the hunters had already left. Usually, they didn't hunt alone. A single person could easily become prey. Instead, small groups of 4, 5, or 6 hunters moved together through the wilderness. Each person had a different responsibility. One watched the ground, looking for fresh footprints. Another scanned the trees, searching for movement. One listened carefully for distant animal calls. Every sense could save a life. The forest was never silent. Birds suddenly flying away could mean a predator was nearby. Monkeys screaming in the trees, often warned of danger. Even the wind could carry the scent of a lion. The hunters walked slowly, sometimes for hours, without saying a single word. Talking too much could scare away food or attract something far more dangerous. Finding an animal was only the beginning. The real challenge was getting close enough without being noticed. There were no rifles, no bows with powerful sights, only wooden spears, stone blades, and patience. Sometimes, the hunters followed the same animal for an entire day, waiting, watching, searching for the perfect moment. Anthropologists believe early humans became masters of endurance. Instead of running faster than animals, they simply refused to give up. Under the hot African sun, many animals eventually became exhausted. Humans kept walking, step after step, hour after hour. This technique, known today as persistence hunting, may have helped our ancestors catch prey that seemed impossible to hunt. But hunting didn't always end in success. Sometimes the animal escaped. Sometimes a stronger predator arrived first. Lions, hyenas, even giant crocodiles near rivers could steal an entire day's effort. When that happened, the hunters had only one choice: walk home, empty-handed. Meanwhile, back at the camp, life continued. Older family members stayed with the children. They repaired broken spears, sharpened stone knives, wove baskets from plant fibers, prepared animal skins for clothing and shelter. Women gathered berries, nuts, honey, wild fruits, roots, and edible plants. In fact, scientists believe plant foods often provided a large part of the group's daily calories. Hunting was important, but gathering made survival reliable. The children never stopped learning. Some practiced throwing tiny wooden sticks, others copied adults, making pretend tools from branches. Every game was secretly a lesson for adulthood. Nobody realized it then. But every ordinary day was preparing the next generation to survive in one of the harshest environments on Earth. As the afternoon sun began moving lower, the hunters finally started their journey home. Sometimes they carried fresh meat, sometimes only stories. But either way, the entire group gathered together again, because the final hours of the day were just as important as the hunt itself. And when darkness returned, ancient humans transformed from hunters into storytellers. That is where some of humanity's greatest traditions may have begun. As the afternoon slowly faded, the hunters finally returned. Sometimes they carried fresh meat across their shoulders, sometimes only a few rabbits or birds, and sometimes nothing at all. But no matter the result, everyone looked toward them. Because the success of the hunt affected the entire tribe. If food had been found, the camp immediately became busy. Some people gathered dry wood, others prepared the fire. Stone knives, sharpened only hours earlier, now sliced fresh meat into smaller pieces. Nothing was wasted, not the meat, not the fat, not the bones, not even the skin. The skin became clothing, blankets, or shelter. The bones became needles, fish hooks, or simple tools. Even animal tendons were turned into strong thread. Ancient humans understood something modern society often forgets. Every successful hunt was a gift, and every part of the animal had value. As darkness slowly covered the land, the fire became brighter. Its warm light could be seen from far away, but it wasn't only for cooking. The fire protected the group. Many predators, including lions and hyenas, preferred to stay away from bright flames. The campfire created a small island of safety in a dangerous world. Soon, everyone gathered together. Children sat beside their parents. Hunters rested after walking for hours. Older members of the tribe began telling stories, not fairy tales, but lessons. Stories about dangerous rivers, about clever hunters, about poisonous snakes, about places where no one should ever go. These stories were the tribe's library. There were no books, no schools, no written language. Knowledge survived only because someone remembered it and passed it on. Around the fire, children learned much more than entertainment. They learned survival, scientists believe. These evening conversations may have helped humans develop better language, stronger teamwork, and even imagination. Some researchers think the campfire changed humanity forever because once people felt safe after sunset, they finally had time to think, to plan, to ask questions, to dream about tomorrow. After dinner, tools were repaired once again. Broken spear tips were replaced, stone blades were sharpened, animal skins were stretched to dry beside the fire. Some people decorated necklaces using shells, animal teeth, or colorful feathers. These weren't just decorations. They may have shown skill, experience, or even social status. Meanwhile, children still played nearby, laughing, running, pretending to hunt, just as adults had done years before. Even play was preparation for survival. Slowly, the fire burned lower, one by one. People became quiet. The stars appeared above the camp, without city lights. The night sky looked unbelievable. Millions of stars filled the darkness. Ancient humans probably recognized many constellations, not for entertainment, but for navigation and changing seasons. Finally, the tribe lay down to sleep. Some slept inside simple shelters, others under the open sky. But not everyone slept. Every night, someone stayed awake, watching the fire, listening carefully, protecting the group, because danger never truly disappeared. A lion's roar, a snapping branch, or unfamiliar footsteps could wake everyone in seconds. Tomorrow, the entire routine would begin again. But there was one part of the day that looked completely different from modern life. Ancient humans actually had moments when they did almost nothing at all. How was that possible in such a dangerous world? The answer may completely change the way you think about prehistoric life. When most people imagine ancient humans, they picture endless struggle, running after animals, fighting predators, searching for food from sunrise until sunset. But surprisingly, science tells a different story. Anthropologists studying modern hunter-gatherer societies have discovered something unexpected. Many groups didn't spend every waking hour working. In fact, once enough food had been collected, the day's most important job was already finished. Unlike modern life, there were no offices, no overtime, no endless meetings, no emails waiting to be answered. Survival came first. But once survival was secured, people slowed down. Some rested beneath the shade of trees, others repaired tools that would be needed tomorrow. Women carefully wove baskets from long grasses and plant fibers. Hunters straightened wooden spears and sharpened stone blades. Children continued playing nearby, throwing sticks, climbing rocks, pretending to track animals. Without realizing it, every game was preparing them for adult life. Older members of the tribe played another important role. They no longer hunted every day. Instead, they shared experience. An elder could recognize animal tracks, weather changes, safe plants, and dangerous mistakes that younger hunters had never seen before. Their knowledge often kept the tribe alive. Humans survived, not because everyone was the strongest, but because knowledge was shared. Sometimes, people even created art. Scientists have discovered ancient cave paintings dating back tens of thousands of years. These paintings weren't simply decoration. Many researchers believe they help preserve important memories, successful hunts, dangerous animals, sacred places, or stories, passed from one generation to the next. Others carved patterns into bones, made necklaces from shells, or decorated tools with remarkable detail. Even in the harshest environments, humans still found time to create beauty. That tells us something extraordinary. Ancient humans didn't live only to survive, they also lived to express themselves. As afternoon slowly became evening, people gathered whatever food remained. Water containers were refilled, firewood was collected. Tomorrow's journey was already being planned. Should the tribe remain here or move somewhere new? Had the nearby animals disappeared? Was the river becoming too dry? Every decision could affect the survival of everyone. Unlike today, nobody planned months ahead. Most decisions focused on the next sunrise, the next hunt, the next source of water, the next safe place to sleep. Life was simple, but every choice mattered. And perhaps that simplicity was also a kind of freedom. No clocks, no deadlines, no social media, no endless notifications, only the rhythm of nature itself. But one final question remains. If ancient humans lived this way, were they actually happier than we are today? The answer isn't as simple as you might think. So, what did ancient humans really do? All day, they woke up with the sunrise, collected water, gathered food, tracked animals, repaired tools, cared for their children, shared stories, protected one another, and when darkness arrived, they rested beneath the stars. Their lives were difficult. Every day carried risk. A failed hunt could mean hunger. A poisonous snake could end a life. A harsh winter could threaten the entire tribe. They had no hospitals, no medicine, no supermarkets, no electricity. Life was never easy, but they also lived very differently from us. They spent almost every hour outdoors. Their bodies moved constantly. They walked for miles, climbed hills, crossed rivers, carried supplies, built shelters. Everything they did kept them physically active. Today, many people spend hours sitting in chairs, looking at screens, driving cars, living indoors. Our ancestors rarely experienced that kind of life. They also lived in close communities. No one survived alone. Food was shared, work was shared, danger was shared. Success belonged to everyone. When someone became sick, others helped. When hunters returned with meat, the whole group ate together. Survival depended on cooperation, not competition. Scientists believe strong social relationships may have been one of humanity's greatest survival tools. Around the evening fire, people laughed, children played, stories were told, knowledge was passed down. These simple moments strengthened the tribe long before cities ever existed. Does that mean ancient humans were happier? Not necessarily. They faced dangers most of us will never experience. Many children never reached adulthood. Injuries that seem minor today could become fatal. There was constant uncertainty. Yet, many researchers believe they experienced far less of the modern stress created by schedules, deadlines, traffic, and endless notifications. Their problems were immediate. Find food, stay warm, protect the family, then rest. Perhaps that is the greatest lesson ancient humans can still teach us. Life wasn't measured by clocks or money or social media. It was measured by survival, family, nature, and time spent together. The modern world has given us comfort, medicine, technology, longer lives. These are incredible achievements, but perhaps in gaining all these things, we've also lost some of our connection with the natural rhythm That shaped humanity for hundreds of thousands of years. So the next time you rush through your busy day, take a moment to step outside, feel the sunlight, listen to the birds, watch the sky, because deep inside, the human brain still remembers the world where every sunrise marked the beginning of another extraordinary day. If you enjoyed this journey into the daily life of ancient humans, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more documentaries about ancient humans, human evolution, archaeology, and the hidden history of everyday life, and tell us in the comments, which part of an ancient human's daily life surprised you the most? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next journey into the ancient world.